All right, guys, I try to get this camera as close as possible, you know, but you might not see the top of my head or something. I'll try to adjust so you can see what I'm doing here. But as I said yesterday, I thought I'm about to go do the East Nashville Guitar Club Community Jam Session here in about an hour or maybe a little bit more. But my young Tom is coming by to pick me up and haul my gear up and kind of get us set up. Tom is a great friend of mine. I need to get him on the show here at some point, but he's gonna come by and bring me some coffee and take me to the gig, and he's like a Belmont student that we brought on and as an intern, and just became a really good dude, and he helps us wrangle all the gigs and helps do sound and just whatever we need, and he went from, you know, not really digging his thing at Belmont to all of a sudden he's driving Billy Gibbons home, you know, a couple times, and it's just been pretty crazy. I don't know why I got on that, but anyway, because he's coming over to bring some coffee, and I'm looking forward to it, but because I'm running out of time. But I know I said yesterday that I haven't changed my strings on this guitar. I don't change my strings unless I have to, and so today I have to, because we're going to do the East Nashville Guitar Club Community Jam Session. So I wanted to show you guys, give you guys a rundown of how I changed strings on a Telecaster and how I learned how to do this over 30 years ago from a guy in my local guitar shop down in Pensacola, Florida. And it's worked, and it keeps working. And so I'm just going to show you what I do here. First of all, I'm using D'Addario XL 110s, my favorite strings on the planet. Comes in this nice little package. I got a nice little table here that I'm working with. My uncle built this little table. He builds these wooden tables in North Carolina and sits on the front porch and smokes his pipe and drinks wine and builds tables. All my family are fine woodworkers. They've built wooden boats and fine trim carpentry and carved fireplace mantles for billionaires and all kinds of stuff. But now my uncle's not really doing that great. My uncle Guthrie Trapp that showed me how to play guitar, he's in North Carolina. He's not doing too hot. He's been to the hospital a bunch of times. Alcohol, COPD, had some cancer. The doctors are, yeah, he's a tough guy, man. He's still kicking, but I think he's doing better. But I got to go over there and see him. Man, life's a bitch. But I need to go see Uncle Jerry. We got Uncle Larry and we got Uncle Jerry. Uncle Jerry's not doing too hot, but hopefully he's gonna be okay. Uncle Larry seems to be doing pretty good. Anyway, moving right along. So nice little table here. Proper wire cutters. I've had these wire cutters since I was a little kid. I say little kid, probably a teenager when I started changing strings. And I lost them for about 2 years and finally found them, and I don't even know where. But man, I hate losing shit. You have something like this your whole life and you lose it. Like a pocket knife I was opening letters with downstairs a minute ago. I've had since I was like 12 years old. I sharpened it up a little bit down there. And then look, I don't like these newfangled string winders and all this stuff. You know, they work in a pinch, but tried and true, good old snips, wire cutters, and a good old proper string winder, right? Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna grab this, tear this string down to nothing, pull it up here, cut it in the middle, pull that off, pull this down. I grab these two together, I wind them up, because I don't want to get poked with the ends laying around somewhere on the floor. I wind those up and I set them right in front of me. Or if there's a little garbage can, you have a little garbage can, you chunk those right in the garbage can. Okay, one string at a time. Very important. So I'm going to go in here into my nice little D'Addario string package. I'm going to yank these out. I'm going to grab the low E string. I'm going to undo that. I'm going to grab this low E string. I'm going to put this A string down here somewhere where I can find it. Now I'm going to go into the back of the telly. I'm going to pull that, make sure that gets a nice, you know, make sure it's all the way in there. I'm going to put that down there. Now here's a little bit of a trick I'm going to show you. So I pull this, you know, to tension. I go to the first tuning peg where this is supposed to go. I go past it 2 tuning pegs, and then I might go a little bit past that, and I cut that sucker. Of course, there it goes flying. But I go two tuning pegs past, cut it, and that's going to give you the proper windings every time. And then I grab this, pull to tension, hold this, start twisting this thing, get the slot to line up. Then I push down with my first finger, still holding this, and then I just start twisting, pulling, holding the tension, making sure all those wraps go underneath each other in a nice orderly fashion. And then I let that hit the nut slot. I might push down a little bit like Uncle Larry taught me. We're all disciples of the great Uncle Larry. I push down on that, which, you know, if he says it, it's probably gonna work. So then I'll just tune it up to pitch. You know, I'll go, oh, let's see. Make sure that A string hasn't been altered too much by my twisting. And I'm not worried about, you know, getting everything perfectly in tune. Now, I will say, one of the most important parts of changing your strings is stretching your strings. You got to stretch the shit out of them, man. So I'll get it close to pitch, and then, man, I'm grabbing about where the 12th fret is, and I'm pulling pretty damn hard, right? And I'm going to stretch that thing until you, when you stretch it, it's not moving. You know, I'm stretching the shit out of it. Still a little flat. That means it needs to be stretched a little bit more. Now, I won't always do this much on each string, on one string before I change them all. I'm doing this to show you, but okay, that's getting there. That's getting pretty good. Stretch a little more. Okay, and then I'd go on to the A string. You know, just twist this down, loosen that as much as you can. Chop it in the middle, pull it off. Twist these together so you don't lose those ends like I did down here. I'm gonna grab this one because I don't want that sucker sticking me, right? Okay, so then we move to the A string. Here's the A string. I'm gonna go, oh yeah, hey man, it's really Guthrie. I know I'm wearing a red shirt. This is really bizarre, I know. I might even wear a red shirt to the Community Jam Session today and freak people out because I don't ever wear anything other than black and gray because, and I have a theory about that, honestly. I mean, people make fun of me. They're like, oh my God, you're wearing a white shirt. What's wrong with you? Are you losing your mind? And I go, well, no, but the thing about it is I'm starting to figure out that I started wearing black when I was a little kid because, or I say little kid, I was a teenager when I started playing live because everybody that I thought looked cool on stage always wore black. Johnny Cash, Bob Dylan, John Prine, keep going, right? Roy Orbison, you know, all the cats. Because what looks great in photographs, what looks great on stage? Black. A buddy of mine that does photography said if you wear color in photos, you're just taking or he goes, if you shoot in color, you're just taking a photo of what people are wearing because the color shows up and starts distracting you from the photo. You know, I mean, that's a theory, right? So hear how much that dropped down? Look how fast. If I wasn't talking to you guys, I'd be done already. All right, that's about enough there. I'll tweak this when I make sure I've got all these strings changed. I hope you guys can see this. It's kind of weird to do this and not be like right up front where you can actually see the winds. But if you do this trick that I'm showing you, where you go pull the string to the tuning peg that it's intended to be on, then go past 2, and then cut. Now you're gonna ask, what do I do when I get down to these and there's only one? I'm gonna show you because we're gonna do all this together here. We're gonna do the whole thing. And I love changing strings on this Telecaster. It's so easy. 335, a little harder. I love these tuning pegs where you just stick the string down in there and you wind and there's nothing sticking up. It's just nice and clean, man. It's nice and clean. As I sit here, I feel like I have to keep talking because I'm not playing anything, right? So again, to the peg, 2 past, maybe a few, you know, 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 an inch past that just for safety. Clip it and snip it. I feel like I'm on a cooking show. This is how cooks must feel, because when you're cooking, you're not making any sound. So you just have to keep talking and try to find interesting, stupid things to keep saying, because you're not playing an instrument. Luckily, when we play the guitar, we don't have to keep talking when we're doing YouTube videos, like such as this one right here, where I'm showing you how to really effectively change the strings on a Telecaster style electrified guitar. So yeah, maybe press these down a little bit. You know, I think Uncle Larry might be onto something there. Tune it on up. But here's the thing, man. Don't do this stuff where you cut all the strings at once. That your neck is just like losing tension. That's not cool. You know, detune the string one at a time. Cut it. Go from the low E to the high E. You know, don't do any weird stuff. Just do it the way everybody does. You know, every once in a while something new. See, then I'll go back and check. Kind of make sure everything's kind of starting to seat in there a little bit, right? All right. G string. It's always that damn G string. So, yeah, another thing I was going to tell you, you know, a lot of people, I love new, I mean, who doesn't love some new stuff, newfangled technology and stuff like that? But other than technology, can you really reinvent the wheel? I mean, here's the thing with Fender and Gibson. I mean, how many times are you going to have to release a guitar that's like, oh, it's a Telecaster, but it's this new, and we got the new thing here, and we got, dude, it was never going to get any better than it did when they first, oh shit. Okay, there's my G string. Actually, it's my G guitar string that was on the floor. You know, man, I mean, but that's how a company works. You got to stay in business. I mean, I'm sure the original light bulb's still burning, right? But nobody would be in the light bulb business if they sold light bulbs that never went out. And like tires, I'm sure that, you know, I'm sure people can make a tire that lasts, you know, for 100 years, but the tire business is not going to like that. So there you have it. So, okay, again, see, I went to the peg. I'm trying to do something here. I went to the peg and then 2 past, and then maybe just a little bit past that. What that's going to do is that's going to make sure you get the proper amount of windings on the string pole, the tuning peg, whatever they call that. So it's like 2 winds on the low. When the strings get smaller, and this pertains to acoustic guitar especially, when the strings get smaller, you need to have a few more winds on there. So like 2 to 3, 2.5, 3 winds on the low E string, 2 to 3 winds on the A string, 3.5 winds on the D string, and then you're getting to like 4 winds on the other strings. So here we go with the G string. And I like to lay this guitar in my lap like this, make sure I'm anchoring. I want to really anchor this headstock to where I hope you can see this. I really want to anchor this headstock, and then I just twist the shit out of this. And you can see I'm pressing down with my first finger to keep the winds going like this. And then I'm pulling up on to keep the tension here. You got to do that. That's a key slick pro move on the string changing program here. All right, so I appreciate you guys being with me this morning on this glorious Sunday evening. Oh, sorry, morning. We got the East Nashville Guitar Club Jam Session today from 2 to 5, which is always a blast. The sun came out. It's been raining 2 weekends in a row in Nashville. It's been raining here. Then we got a little party to go to afterwards. My buddy Chris Ford that helps me out with everything. It's his birthday, so we're going to go to a little house party over in this neighborhood down the street here called, there's a little neighborhood down the street called Little Hollywood. And the reason they call it that is because a long time ago, that neighborhood was a bunch of really cool, like adobe, kind of southwestern LA looking houses. And my friend owns the coolest one. It's giant, and it's amazing. Maybe if I'm lucky, she'll let me take a little video of it or something, and I can show you guys. It's a really cool neighborhood. It's called Little Hollywood, and it's right here in beautiful, sunny Nashville, Tennessee. Here's my B string. I'm gonna do all these strings, man. If you guys want to watch this whole thing, great. If not, that's fine too. But I want to just make sure that you got everything on here. See what I did there? Okay, I grab this B string. I make sure it's in there. I pull it down here. I go to this peg, and I just measure it by doing that. It doesn't have to be like rocket science, but it doesn't have to be rocket surgery. But that's the way I do it, and it works every time. I've been doing this for over 30 years, and it works. So then I just do this. I push that down. As soon as I start turning it, I pull it when it grabs, and then I just twist like nobody's watching, and then I hold that tension on there. Make sure it's in the string tree. About the same time that happens, I lock it in there. I make sure it's in the groove down here. You got to be in the groove. The groove is really important. And then that string moved, so I want to tune to this. I'm just getting a reference here, right? Pull up a little bit. Okay, then I'm gonna go to my E string, the high E string. This thing really needed these strings were in horrific shape because I hate changing them. But, it's almost like meditation. If you're into that, it's almost therapeutic to change your strings because you have to sit and focus on something for a minute. Which there's nothing wrong with that. Thanks for all the kind comments and excitement on the Uncle Larry record and the little video I did yesterday. I swear to God, man, I'm going to grow this channel, and I swear to God that I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to start putting so many videos up here that you guys are going to get sick of it. It's obvious that I'm not editing videos and doing a lot of slick production. That's an understatement. It's iPhone 14 Pro Max. I finally had to get a new one. It's me sitting in my little room here with a couple lights. It's just enough for you guys to get the idea. I feel like if the content's good and from the heart and authentic and real, then we don't need a big production, because we're professional guitar players. And I have been reluctant to say this, and I'm going to say it on this video because I don't think that many people are going to watch it be the biggest one. But the biggest elephant in the room here, and this is going to piss a lot of people off. I have a lot of friends, Rick Beato, Marty Schwartz, Brett Papa. There's some great guys that do this. I don't know all of them well, but I know Brett and Marty very well. And I've had dinner with Rick Beato about 5 times, and I like him. These other guys on YouTube, I don't know what their deal is. I don't know them. I don't know. They might be great guys. But I'm going to say this, and this is a broad statement. But if you have time to edit and produce and links and buttons and graphics and beautiful cameras and light, if you have time to make videos that look and sound as good as a lot of these guys on YouTube, you are not playing the guitar for a living. That's all I'm going to say. Think about that for a minute and really understand what I'm saying there and let that sink in. And I'm not diminishing how anybody makes a living. I'm just applying this strictly to the guitar. When you play the guitar for a living and you're working in the studio or live or doing the education and the stuff that we're all doing, you're not sitting in a studio or your beautiful home studio making these amazing videos, because let me tell you why. They take a long time to do, and we're not sitting here learning how to use Final Cut Pro all day long, and you're not playing the guitar for a living if you have time to do that. And that's pushing the envelope a little bit with that statement, but just think about it for a minute. Okay, I'm going to pull up on this E string, pull up on this B string. Now I'm going to stretch these for like, you know, I'm going to tune it. I'm going to stretch it. I'm going to keep stretching. I don't use any kind of oil or grease or a polishing cloth or a rag or anything like that. I'm going to tell you what I do. See this right here? This is going to sound a little weird, but I had a old banjo player friend of mine a long time ago tell me this, and I've been doing it ever since. It's almost become like a habit. But if you find your strings getting a little sticky or a little you know, dry or whatever, like when they're brand new like this, I'm gonna tell you one thing that really helps me. And I'll bend these. I'll do everything I can do to stretch these strings out. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. Right here on the side of your nose and your forehead, you've got natural oil. And I'm not talking about not taking a shower for 5 days. I'm talking about, you know, an hour after you get out of the shower, you have natural oils in on your face. Some people might have more than others. I think I have just the perfect amount, but because it seems to work. No, I'm joking. But right here with your left hand, get some of that natural oil from your forehead, from the side of your nose, and put it on your strings. I sound like a fucking lunatic, I know, but I'm telling you, man, it's the best feel for your strings. That's all I'm gonna say. I know you think I'm crazy already, but hey guys, this has been a blast. I gotta go check on Tom, make sure he's showing up with some coffee, and we're gonna head to the jam session. There's your fresh set of strings on a Telecaster style guitar. I got what happened? Here's the little. When I put that in my case, this one falls off. I got to re-put it on there every time. But there's the little strap lock things, the old Gerst, what's that beer called? You guys are going to tell me now, but whatever, the little thing like that. That's pretty cool. Little tricks, you know. Songbirds down in Chattanooga. Oh, I've been meaning to tell you guys this. I know I've never worn jewelry in my life. I got this stupid earring in here I've had since I was like 10 years old. I don't even remember I've had that, but I don't wear rings and necklaces and shit. But I got this necklace in the mail a month or so ago from Billy Gibbons. I know I'm dropping names, but it's not names dropping when these guys are your friends, right? So Trapp, says Trapp on there. That's my last name. T-R-A-P-P. The second P is silent. I like to say that. Makes people laugh sometimes. But Billy sent this necklace, man, and I've worn it every single day since he sent it because I love that guy to death, and he's the most generous cat I've ever seen in my life. And I like this. I like wearing this thing, man. It's almost becoming a little bit of a good luck charm, kind of a comforting thing that I do every day. And I know that sounds weird too, but you know what, man? Fuck it. I'm getting older, and I need every goddamn good luck charm I can get. So talk to y'all soon. New videos coming real soon. I'm going to try to get some footage of the East Nashville Guitar Club, and I'm just going to start putting stuff up. So thanks a bunch, guys. I hope you learned something there, but that's the way I do it, and it's been working for me for a long time. Talk to y'all soon. Cheers.